Forget everything you know about traditional diplomacy. The president of USA, Donald J. Trump, has turned peace negotiation into a high-stakes corporate game. The year is 2026 and the global world order is being liquidated. From the ruins of Gaza, raised by brutal war of erasure, emerges a new gilded entity, the Board of Peace. It's not any treaty, it's more like an IPO launched for the global peace negotiation. It's not the UN, it's the boardroom chaired by the billionaire president. The invitations are out, and India is one of the 60 handpicked countries chosen for the membership of the Board of Peace. What's the catch? The permanent membership would cost $1 billion. While both sides weigh in the pros and cons of invitation, one thing is clear. Global peace negotiation has entered into a new phase. Welcome to the era of executive corporate peace negotiation. Noam Chomsky, in his book Who Rules the World, gives a careful yet enduring critique of the global power politics. He states that USA tries to influence the world order mostly based on its strategic importance rather than the democratic consensus, as decisions are mostly based on the high stakes military and high stakes corporate importance. Okay, and between the gap of legitimacy and power imposed by the USA onto the world emerges this new Board of Peace. On January 18, 2026, the US ambassador to India, Sergio Gore, actually shared a formal letter on social media platform X. It contained a message from Donald Trump to PM Modi saying that this board is a magnificent effort to solidify the peace in the Middle East, and he urged India to join the bold new approach. Okay, bold new approach. Okay, this invitation actually didn't come out of the blue. In 29th of September 2025, Donald Trump actually announced a comprehensive 20-point plan, okay, 20-point agenda, okay, which had 3 phases of peace negotiation, okay, for the Gaza, ending the conflict in Gaza, and with the resolution 2803 adopted by the United Nations Security Council, UNSC. This proposal is actually overwhelmingly adopted. Okay, so based on that, now the first phase is over. We'll see about all the phases later. Now this is a second phase where the peace board is being established and people will come and they will plan out how the peace negotiation should go on from now on. But before we enter into the peace negotiation and Board of Peace, let's briefly understand or briefly just know a few facts of the Gaza conflict right now, which is going on right now. Okay, as of now, the Gaza is seeing one of the world's worst humanitarian crisis, with more than 71,000 fatalities in the early 2026. Okay, and you will see 70 million tons of the rubble, okay, destroyed. All the infrastructure, almost around 90% of the Gaza's infrastructure is destroyed. This includes schools, this includes roads, this includes buildings, this includes hospitals, this includes almost everything. And the GDP of Gaza is contracted by 87%. Okay, so it is more or less termed as a living hell. Okay, so yeah, so this is the present condition of the Gaza. And now, so that being said, now let us exactly see what is the Board of Peace, okay, and how the membership is actually granted. Okay, so now this is a very peculiar and very new sorts of board which is being constituted, where now this is an invitation only, firstly, and to get invited there is no criteria per se, okay, but there are different tiers of membership. This is more like a subscription. Okay, so here the membership are of the permanent membership type, standard membership, and the founding members. Okay, now the permanent membership, if you want to be a permanent member, then you'll have to give 1 billion cash. Okay, now where this cash will go? This cash will go for the reconstruction of the Gaza. Okay, and now next one is the standard membership, where there is no immediate financial requirement and the members serve as a 3-year term, which is renewable only at the sole discretion of none other than the Donald Trump. Okay, and the founding members, it is reserved for the first 60 nations invited by the US president. Okay, and whoever accept this invitation will be the founding member. Okay, so this is the membership, and now who runs the board? Okay, interestingly, obviously and interestingly, there is no consensus, there is no democratic process. Okay, this is being as a thopa gaya hai sort of thing, where it is obviously being chaired by the president of USA, that is Donald Trump, and the executive board, it includes the high representatives of Gaza, who is Nikolai Maldev, and he's a Bulgarian diplomat. And now the political leaders include the Marco Rubio, who is the US Secretary of State, and Tony Blair, the former UK PM, and financial or strategic leads such as the Ajay Banga, who is the World Bank president, and the other strategic leads, and the regional representatives such as the key diplomat from the Qatar, Egypt, Turkey have been named till now. Okay, they will be the part of the Gaza's executive board. Okay, and now the list of the invitees which are being sent as the founding members, they include different countries such as from the Southeast Asia we have India, Pakistan, and in the Middle East Israel, Jordan, Egypt, Turkey, and in North America the Canada, and in Europe Hungary, Italy, Greece, Albania, Romania, and from the Oceania you will have Australia, New Zealand, and in South America Argentina and Brazil, and Paraguay. Okay, so these are the countries which have been invited till now. Okay, now so before we get into the extra details, as I said earlier, let us discuss what is this the 20-point comprehensive plan which was proposed to end the Gaza conflict. Okay, so this was proposed on the 29th of September 2025. Okay, it is more like a roadmap to end the Gaza conflict. Okay, so now it will occur in 3 phases. The first phase will have the immediate ceasefire. Okay, this phase is already done. Okay, this phase is already done, and the total suspension of the all military operation, 72-hour hostage clause, where the Hamas were supposed to return all the Israeli hostages. Okay, with the as I already informed you, the October 9th incident, the Hamas actually captured the innocent civilians from the Israel, where they, with just like a movie scenario, they just come through various ways such as parachutes, bus, they come through bikes and everything, and they capture everybody that they could, and they take them as hostages. And after that there was a prisoner exchange of around 2,000 Palestinian prisoners were released, and now there was a military drawdown where the considerable amount of the military which was being deployed on the both sides was reduced, and the humanitarian search where actually whatever the humanitarian assistance which is going for the Gaza was being stopped by the Israel, and it was only sending it selectively, because there was a fear that under the name of humanitarian aid, the other war-oriented military personnel or the bombs and ammunition were to be taken mulki. So this was the first phase, and in the second phase, now we see that now the current whatever is going on is the second phase, and in the second phase we see there is a comprehensive plan. Okay, first one is the National Committee for the Administration of Gaza, which is led by Dr. Ali Saad, and now the disarmament of Hamas, where Hamas are supposed to surrender all their weapons. Okay, and we see that recently we saw the news that there are so many Hamas which are hidden in the underground tunnels. Okay, and now the amnesty and safe passage, where whoever wants to go to different countries are to be allowed, and now there is a Trump economic and development plan where he will propose the investment and reconstruction, and there are special economic zones where the preferred tariffs and job creation will be there, and there is a new Gaza vision, a miracle city, and one of the most important thing is the international stabilization force. It is more of a military force. Okay, whoever members want to contribute are being contributed, and we recently saw the news that the Pakistan is being contributed, is selected to contribute, and the same thing is being asked for India also, for which India has not taken any call right now. Okay, and obviously the Board of Peace, which would be chaired by the Donald Trump. So this is the phase 2, and the phase 3 would be the ending phase, where no Israeli annexation. Israel will now stop annexing the Gaza territory, and there will be an interfaith dialogue, and there will be a reformed Palestinian Authority for 2027, and no forced displacement, and the de-radicalization program, where the terror-free education institution will be there, and there will be a credible path for the Palestinian state determination. So this is the comprehensive 20-point plan, which was actually endorsed by the United Nations Security Council, okay, under the resolution of 2803 in the November of 2025. Okay, so now let us try to analyze actually what exactly is this, and let us try to see different angles, okay, of this Board of Peace. Okay, now the first is that Trump is actually positioning this Board of Peace as an address. Okay, it is more like a regulatory sandbox, or it is more like an experiment, where now you will have to pay to get onto the table or to make decisions. Okay, and right now it is being implemented for the Gaza, okay, tomorrow for the Ukraine, and day after tomorrow for the Greenland, or day after tomorrow for whatever it might be. Okay, so he's just trying his way out through different innovative measures. Okay, now it offers a shortcut to the high table without 20-year wait for the UNSC reform. So for example, now India is being India should be considered for the United Nations Security Council permanent membership, okay, where you can take the calls, but right now we are not being there, and now to get into this high stakes decision table, now this is a way where you'll have to pay $1 billion and get onto the table and start discussing. Okay, so this is one of the scene which is going on. Okay, next is the $1 billion pay to play. Okay, you'll have to pay, and you'll have to get on the table, and you can take the call, and you can take the decision. It is more like now whoever has the money can take it. There is no democratic process, there is no ethical, or there is no other principle based or rule based diplomacy which is going on. Right now it is the new world order, where if you give $1 billion, okay, you have some skin in the game, and then you come and take the decisions. Okay, so now, and India is the stabilizing force. Now see, India has maintained a strategic partnership with Israel, high level trust with United Arab Emirates, okay, and it is the voice of the global south. Okay, so now to bridge the power, unlike USA or Turkey, India is seen as the ideological skin in the game. It has no ideological skin in the game. Okay, it is just the Gaza Executive Board's reconstruction efforts without triggering any regional suspicion. Okay, and also now the ISF red line. Okay, India has clearly stated that there will be no boots on the ground. Okay, India has been contributing to the peace force of the United Nations. Okay, but India has categorically stated that we will not be sending any troops here. Okay, and the reason, the India's military doctrine, it oversees deployment only under the United Nations mandate. Okay, and a US-led ISF. Okay, now this ISF actually is being led by the US Major General Jasper Jeffers. Okay, he is the commanding officer there. Okay, now as a sovereign country like India, now sending our military troops for another country would actually violate our doctrine of military. And next is the dilemma that India has. Okay, the first dilemma is the institutional dilemma, which is India has been campaigning for the permanent member of United Nations Security Council. Okay, and it is very imperative that the reforms at the United Nations Security Council to take place because of the veto by only few countries, okay, the P5 countries. Okay, so now with India joining this sorts of institutions will actually jeopardize, or which will actually contradict our earlier view and earlier push for the United Nations Security Council membership. Okay, so this is the first dilemma, and the next dilemma is that the sovereignty dilemma, where pay to play sort of principle, okay, where the permanent seat requires $1 billion contribution, and the India is generous donor of humanitarian aid. Obviously, we have been sending to our friendly nations, non-friendly nations. We have always been there in the front to help everybody. Okay, so now, but this sorts of pay to play will actually jeopardize our strategic autonomy. It will be seeing on our independent, compromising our independent foreign policy. Okay, and New Delhi actually prides on the strategic autonomy, and this could be seen as a compromising India's independent foreign policy, where the financial power is being negotiated to sit on a table of making a high level decisions. Okay, so yeah, this is one of the dilemma. And also the security dilemma, as we have already discussed, that there is a red line of the stabilization force, which will be headed by the US Secretary General. Okay, and this will actually put a dot on the India's sovereignty. Okay, and it is against the India's military doctrine. Okay, yeah. So, and now there is also one of the most important dilemma, that is the neighborhood dilemma, where the US has been the US has invited Pakistan, and we are in no way accepting the clause that Pakistan would be sitting on the same table that we are going to sit. Okay, and obviously Pakistan has given the green signal for deploying their forces in the Gaza under the stabilization force, but India has not. So now we'll have to weigh in our pros and cons with respect to sitting on the same table as the Pakistan. So these are a few dilemmas that India has. And also the policy dilemma. Okay, the policy dilemma is that India has actually endorsed the idea of the two-state solution. Okay, there should be two-state solution of the which was UN solution given before, and now we accepting this invitation and joining the Board of Peace will actually divert or contradict our earlier view of the two-state resolution, or two-state acceptance, or two-state resolution that we have already taken. Okay, so now this actually, the 20-point comprehensive plan actually takes us to the Israel security, and it also endorses the economic trusteeship model of the Palestine. Okay, economic trusteeship model of the Palestine. Okay, so again, the democratic consensus is not there. Again, the international law is not being followed over here. Okay, so this is more like an imposition rather than a democratic consensus. Okay, so these are all the dilemmas that India has right now. Okay, and now the decision has not been out yet. Okay, we have not taken any decision as of now currently, but we will have to check in the both sides. We will have to weigh our pros and cons. Okay, we'll have to see what decision should be taken, and that decision should not compromise the sovereignty. That decision should be in consensus with the policy that we have. That decision should be ethical. That decision should showcase our view about the global peace. Okay, so as of now, India has not given any acceptance or a rejection of this current invitation. So we will see furthermore developments on this particular scenario. Okay, so for whatever developments will be there, we will be updating on our Next Steps YouTube channel. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I hope this session was very much helpful. We'll be coming back with much more explainer videos in the coming series. Thank you so much.